Well, first things first, don't come to this video wanting to know all the ins and outs of the goals and how they happened and all this sort of stuff, because on a game like today, when there's a lot of action going on, you tend to I can't remember half the goals, to be honest, and I look forward to going home and catching up with them all. But Norwich City have lost here 4-3, a game that, to be perfectly honest, during the first half they really should have been in a position to make sure that they were going to win it and control the game. To be 1-0 up from a sort of a decent enough created goal, but a bundled effort from Jordan Rhodes, they kind of just I mean, they allowed West Brom back in probably with a defensive error. Ben Marshall getting caught under a cross that Dwight Cahill was able to take on, and then earn a penalty from Tim Krul. Tim went to ground, probably can't do that, possibly slightly soft, but there you go. It's probably never going to not be given. So it's 1-1 coming into the latter stages of the first half. Norwich win a penalty back almost immediately, really quick turnaround. And El Hernandez did brilliantly to earn the penalty. And Jordan Rhodes steps up, and after a summer of World Cup and everyone talking about how important it is to get penalties right, especially from the England contingents, to see Jordan Rhodes basically roll side foot a penalty straight to Sam Johnson was hugely disappointing for a player who before the goal was put through and took a heavy touch, and you just didn't look confident when he took that on, and you're thinking, okay, maybe this is playing on your mind. Gets a goal, bundled in, take that, brilliant, you're off your mark, away you go. And then to do that with a penalty, I mean, Norwich did deserve to be 2-1 up at half time, and they should have been 2-1 up. So as Daniel Farke said afterwards, to then get in and you're kind of analysing the fact that you weren't leading at half time, you're like, okay, how are we going to make up for this in the second half? Now the problem is, what they did is they got pressed for probably the first time by West Brom all afternoon. Alex Tettey gives the ball away. Jay Rodriguez takes a pump from 30 yards. And Tim Krul, inexplicably, I mean, straight at his midriff. His arms close up. Maybe it was travelling quicker than he imagined, and it just rebounds off his arm, sort of deflects off his arm into the corner of the net. A shocking moment, and reminded me that just before kickoff, my very conversation I had with someone was, a lot of this is about Jordan Rhodes and Tim Krul. If those two have about them what we hope they've got about them, then they could be crucial, and Norwich could do something this year. Sadly, one's missed a penalty where Norwich should have gone back in the lead, and the dynamic of the game changes entirely, and the other one just gifts West Brom their first lead of the game. I think I saw someone say that Norwich had a positive goal difference for 9 minutes. That's the first time they've had a positive goal difference since Daniel Farke took charge last summer. So probably underlines just where things are and how they've been going. So tricky there, and from then on, I mean, it was gung-ho basketball football, really. Goal one and goal the other. Some pretty shoddy defending by both sides. Some pretty horrendous attempts at clearing the ball, but then some good attacking play from both sides, and obviously we're all well aware of the entertainment that Norwich fans have said that they've wanted here, so they will have got that. But as I spoke to a fan before the game, entertainment really is winning. That's what entertains fans. So this will stick in the craw, this defeat, because it was needless against a West Brom side who were horribly passive in the first half, and you can see why they hadn't won so far and why they lost to Bolton on the opening day. But the problem was, as soon as they got ahead, all of a sudden they looked like a confident outfit. You can see the quality they've got in possession. The tactical and managerial efforts of Darren Moore are irrelevant at that point. It's the players running the show and making sure this, that and the other happens, and they were always then probably a step ahead of what Norwich could do. Fair play to Norwich, they didn't ever give it up, and they chased them down, but that doesn't really make up for the missed opportunities that they had to deal with, and the gifts they had to deal with earlier in the game. No Tom Tribal in the 18 today. I think Norwich are going to have an issue this year in terms of they've got too many foreign players in truth, and they can't get them all into a squad. They need 7 of them to be homegrown, and we didn't see Emi Buendia, no Tom Tribal as well, probably 1 or 2 others off the top of my head. So there's going to be a bit of shoehorning in, certainly while everyone's fit, which I guess won't be an ongoing status, but it's clearly affecting the team that Daniel Farke can pick and his substitutions for each game. And James Husband was effectively dropped today, not selected, missed out. We saw Ivo Pinto playing at left back, and you know what, he did really well, put in loads of effort. Sure, he did get caught out for the 3rd goal, I think it was, which was a lovely counter spearheaded by Matt Phillips. But all in all, I thought Evo was as energetic as anyone on the pitch and did really well. So, but all in context, and there are issues that Norwich are going to have to address. The more games we see, the more of a pattern we start to see emerge. Timo Pukki got his first goal for the club today. That was good, but his movement is okay, and one of his bright spots, and he does seem to be able to pick a pass and has a little eye for goal, as Grant Hanley said to us after the game. But whether he's quite physical enough and at times technically gifted enough is a slight question mark. Ben Marshall at right back, I'm still yet to really be won over on that one, so we'll see how that develops. And of course Norwich defensively have to improve. Daniel doesn't seem to be too worried about that being any kind of tactical issue compared to last year. He feels that once they get up to speed, that will happen. So still early in the season. Let's be fair, Norwich have played a very good side here at West Brom, who maybe despite their manager really should be up and amongst the top echelons of the Championship this season. Norwich probably haven't got the squad to be on that level and compete, but there is still an expectation that they won't be really struggling, and let's hope that is the case. They've got a tough league game coming up at Sheffield United next weekend, when I'm sure Chris Wilder will have his blades pumped for whatever the next stage of the Disrespect Derby is. But we'll be back here on Tuesday night, I think it is, for Stevenage's visit in the first round of the Carrow Cup. A chance for some players to get some minutes and some action, and we'll be keeping a key eye on them, because ultimately now they've got a manager to impress, and the door may be open in terms of the first team picture. We will see. Much more analysis, of course, over the course of the weekend for myself, Dave and Paddy, right over at PinkUn.com.